The next time you're gonna order Uber Eats, don't. Use that $20 to buy a Mercedes G-Wagon. Why? Because you can write it off as a business expense for the LLC that you registered earlier in the morning. Now you're gonna drive that G-Wagon for 24 hours for Uber Eats delivering food. And then you're gonna use that money that you just made to get an FHA loan that you can get a rental property with. Once you get the rental property, you're gonna rent out all the 4 units. You're gonna sleep in the bathroom. This way you don't have to pay rent. And you're gonna use what's called monthly recurring revenue. That's passive income. Now, what you're gonna do with that passive income is buy my course.
Hello, welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience, and I am Patience, and I'm excited to have you here. So let's get straight into today's topic. It is going to be quite an interesting conversation we're going to have about entrepreneurship. That's such a tongue twister. If you hear me make a little bit of mistake pronouncing it throughout the video, I know when I talk really fast, my words get kind of hard to say certain words. We're talking about the glamorization of entrepreneurship on social media and what that means for 9-to-5s, but especially when people are demoralizing it. Oh my, the lighting changed, but hopefully it's not too bad. I'm near the window, so obviously as the sun is changing positions, our lighting is going to keep getting more interesting. But as I was saying, demoralizing 9-to-5, not to say it's not a great thing, but people have seen it more as this less attractive way to make money compared to be an entrepreneur and be your own CEO, which I am not going to put down either. I'm going to hopefully make this video that will show you the importance of both in our society, and whether you go one way or the other, it doesn't matter as long as you're passionate and you're living in your purpose, changing the world for the better. Everybody's not meant to be their own CEO. Society, we need everybody's participation to move ourselves forward. Let's get straight into this video, and remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to share it with somebody you think would also enjoy it. So entrepreneurship on social media continues to increase, and I think it's been kind of a big thing on social media since the inception of the internet, but now more than ever, people knowing the power of social media and the internet to sell us products, including your courses. It is becoming more and more frequent for you to get an advertisement that says something like, are you working 9-to-5? Do you want to be your own boss? Make more money? Take my course. And I will teach you how to be a millionaire in the next few years.
If you're between the ages of 16 and 24, this is a video for you. You don't want to work a job. You don't want a boss. You want to make 10K, 20K, or even 30K a month on your own terms, traveling wherever you want, doing whatever you want, eating whatever you want. I just made a document showing how I made more than $1 million last year. It has this step-by-step process that you need to take to start making money online. I'm going to send it out, but only to those who are hungry and willing to take action. If you've made it this far, you've got what it takes to break free. Comment escape and I'll send it right over. You can keep scrolling past this video or you can take action.
I've seen it all. I get all the advertisement over and over again. People talk about this is the best way to make $1 million. This is the best way to become a million in the next year. This is the best way to earn $100,000 a month. If only it was that easy. Why are you sharing it with all of us? And a lot of people are taking it to heart in a way that they're becoming their own one-person CEO, and it actually can be damaging.
Step 1, rent a Lambo. Step 2, rent a mansion on Airbnb. Step 3, bring all your outfits and shoot every shot you'll use for the next year of you standing next to your mansion and Lambo. Step 4, fake your Shopify statistics by manually adding in every order to make these dashboard pages seem real even when you refresh the page. Step 5, make a video promising people $30K in a month, telling them how you were just like them when you started and you figured it out, and they can too if they just buy your course for $997. Step 6, they buy your course and realize it's a scam, but that's where step 7 comes into play. Pay them referral bonuses to recruit other students and to give your course 5-star reviews. They'll only post positive things, and that'll make it seem even more legit to help you get even more students.
I heard of somebody who quit their job to pursue entrepreneurship full time. And in like a year that they had started their business, they had made less than $1,000. And I'm not going to be say quit and go back to your job, but I think this is where wisdom is needed. That maybe you don't quit your job and go full on in on a business that you have not even made any money out of, but rather balance both. And then hopefully one day, once you're earning more on your other endeavors, then you can let go of your 9-to-5. which by the way, 9 to 5 is not always a 9 to 5. I know what people mean by that, but can we just stop making people feel unaccomplished if they don't have a business? Can we stop making people feel bad if they don't have any type of dreams of making or building their own businesses? And if somebody is fulfilled as an employee, can that just be enough? Welcome to today's topic of talking about the devaluing of the 9 to 5 and people's misunderstanding of the importance of the traditional 9 to 5 to our national and global economy. In the recent years that entrepreneurship has been all over social media, so has rhetoric that it's more fulfilling, right? Because you make your own hours, you are working for yourself, you're not working for the man. Attitude that devalues the importance of traditional 9 to 5 and rather glamorizes, doesn't give the day in, day out work that it takes to run your own business. It's something that not everybody is built or equipped for. It's literally not everybody's ministry to build a business. So let's set the record straight right now from the beginning. There is absolutely nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. And there is nothing wrong with being happy with the 9 to 5 that you're working. I, for one, really like my job. Honestly, I thank God for putting me in a position where I don't find my job to be overbearing. I find it to be innovative, to be mentally stimulating, has its ups and downs. But overall, I'm really glad for the company that I work for and for the job that I do. And having a regular, quote unquote, 9 to 5, and the reason I'm saying quote unquote 9 to 5 is because, for one, I work 7:30 to 5:30. So it's definitely not a 9 to 5 for me. But I do work 4 days a week, not 5. And that's what I'm filming today on a Friday. And that's one of the benefits of having certain 9 to 5s. It offers stability, financial stability, especially if it's a good paying job. That's really important because when you have your own business, you take on the risk of going up and down versus the employee who still has to get paid whether things go up or down. So you don't share in a lot of the successes, but there is a stability to being an employee. And then of course, other types of benefits that are offered that I definitely see in my career field. But first, let's look at the facts of entrepreneurship and owning your own business. According to the US Small Business Administration, approximately 10.1% of people are self-employed, meaning that the other almost 90% of people who work are working as an employee, not an employer. And a lot of career fields, great career fields, by the way, and much needed career fields, you will fall into an employee contract, such as being a teacher, a doctor, a nurse. Doctors can open their own practice, but oftentimes a lot of them start out being employees as well. Firefighter. I don't see a lot of privately owned firefighter practices. They probably could be. Most of them are state employed. We are talking about social workers. They are state employed as well. A lot of engineers. In my field of engineering, a lot of people are employees. Let's take this phone for example. Do you know how many engineers it takes to make this phone, manufacture it, update it, the software, the hardware, the packaging, the research that goes into it? Thousands, probably tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of engineers have laid their hands on some part of this technology. Same goes for many, many big technologies. It takes a lot of engineers. Very few technologies are self-made by one person. But even if it is by one person, once it gets into production, it brings in a whole bunch of other engineers, quality engineers, packaging engineers, safety engineers, electronics engineers, electrical engineers, computer engineers. So many engineers are involved. And that knowledge base takes on more and more whole teams of engineers to keep our technological world running. In fact, most businesses, big businesses we see today, started as an entrepreneurial endeavor. For example, Facebook. It started with Mark Zuckerberg when he dropped out of college, when he was in college. It was at one point a small business and it became a big business. So I never want people to give up on their dreams. Let's not demonize the people who also work for the company, that maybe they're not the founder, but Mark Zuckerberg cannot make Facebook what it is today without his hundreds of thousands of employees. Oh my, the lighting has really changed. When you look at the success of a business, if you are the CEO of your business, right, you're now a one-man business, a one-woman business, once you start accumulating employees, wouldn't you hope that they'll be happy working for you? I mean, don't stifle their dreams of becoming entrepreneurs if that's what they want, but that's not everybody's dream, and that's okay. but you don't want to make them feel bad for working for you. Imagine a world where everybody just worked for themselves. Restaurants, unless it's family-owned restaurants, they would not exist. Who's going to be working for you at the government offices if everybody's working for themselves? Can you imagine how tasking that would be? You couldn't just go into a salon unless it's, again, family-owned. Then again, everybody would be working for themselves too. Like, it's just going to be so much of disorganization and not enough people coming together to move our world forward. It will be impossible for us as a growing economy to be a world where everybody just works for themselves. But even if you are curious about it, and I think there's great value in entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not all it's cracked up to be. I would say this YouTube channel is an entrepreneurship endeavor. I didn't come on here to make a ton of money. I just came on here because I had a lot of ideas and quite a few to say. And I'm like, maybe there are people who would enjoy this conversation. But with that being said, it's not always cracked up to be. You don't just get to set your own hours. You can't be irresponsible.
I want to be an influencer. I want to get PR. I want to get free stuff. No, you do not. No, you do not. Every single creator, big or small, needs to go watch Taylor's video because you can, in fact, be taxed on the free stuff you're getting as an influencer. I'm gonna explain to you what's going on and how you can sometimes get around this tax situation. If they ask you to post and you say okay, then you can't forget taxes you must pay. Typically, brands pay creators money for sponsored content, but in some cases they say, hey, we can give you a gift that's gonna be worth a lot more than the cash we can give you, and that's where those beauty influencer trips to the Caribbean or an apartment full of new furniture comes from. But it is in fact not a gift, it's barter. AKA, in exchange for your content, you're getting tens of thousands of dollars worth of product or services, but that's considered income because you've handshaken and agreed that you will create content to get that stuff. In Taylor's case, she was gifted $63,000 worth of services or product, but didn't actually get $63,000 in cash, but now owes a $20,000 tax bill.
But let's get into the real data just so that you would know. This is not to deter you from pursuing your own business, but rather, if you are okay with where you are as an employee, it's okay to find joy in that. It's okay to find joy in different career fields where you are going to be an employee. And it's also okay if you do want to step out and be innovative in your own field. Just know realistic things that it comes with. So talking about the harsh reality of entrepreneurship starts with the fact that approximately 20% of all new businesses fail within the first year. The great news is that 80% don't fail within the first year. The statistics are not in our favor as the years go on because approximately 50% fail within the first 5 years. You really have a 50% chance of winning and failing, and depending on where you are, if you're able to take that risk, it may be worth it and it may not be worth it. But remember, these are the ones that don't fail. It does not mean it is profitable and makes enough money for you to actually live on. This is not to discourage you, but it's to highlight the risk so that you're not going in all doe-eyed and bushy-tailed or whatever the saying is, but rather going in knowing the harsh reality of what's ahead. And I can give you an example definitely with YouTube channels. Most YouTube channels never get monetized. In fact, most YouTube channels never get to 500 subscribers because a lot of people give up when they start and the algorithm doesn't pick them up and push them out and they don't get a bunch of subscribers. But the truth is, if you come in for the right reasons, you're able to persevere and stay, especially if you have other sources of income and not dependent on your YouTube channel to eat. When I started YouTube 2 years ago, I posted my first video, I had 1 subscriber, which was my best friend. And I got a few more and a few more. It took me about 6 months to even reach 50 subscribers. A year in, I had less than 150 subscribers. And this past year, I've grown a lot more, but I'm still under 1,000 subscribers. So I'm not monetized. And when a lot of people have to put in this much work, I'm typically posting 2 videos a week. I've posted over 200 videos in these past 2 years. And it's a lot of work. A lot of people just don't feel like doing it for no return. It's not just a YouTube thing. It's a business thing. It takes some businesses several years to be profitable, and that's just the truth. So whenever somebody wants to start a YouTube channel, I always encourage, like, sure, do so, but definitely go in with lowered expectations. Be ready to put in the work before you see any type of return. And so when you see those people trying to tell you to be your own CEO on Instagram and YouTube and all these advertisements,
And what do you do for living out in Los Angeles to be able to afford a Ferrari?
I own my own consulting firm.
So you're a business owner?
Yeah.
And how long have you been an entrepreneur for?
6 years.
And over these 6 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Just over about 7.1 million last year.
$7 million.
Yeah.
You're sitting in a Ferrari right now. This is a lot of people's dream car. Tell me the story of how you bought this thing.
I'll be honest with you, I had already offsetted all my taxes for the year and I just wanted a Christmas gift. So I just went and bought myself a Ferrari cash. When you don't pay taxes, a lot of these types of purchases start to become a little bit different.
So you don't pay taxes?
Oh, no, I don't pay any taxes.
Why is that?
People say that it's patriotic to pay taxes. It is not patriotic to pay taxes. It's actually more patriotic to not pay taxes.
A lot of times they don't bring up these numbers or the numbers of success rates in their businesses because it's not going to be most encouraging. It's not going to be numbers that would make people want to jump in and put in the risk, especially if they're asking upfront to give up a lot of money, because businesses like that could easily fail. And not only is it failing, but you're losing a lot of money. If my YouTube channel fails, at least I can say that I've not invested a substantial amount of money where I'm going to be down bad. Luckily, I've been able to take on a lot of the work of, filming, planning my videos, and editing it. Everything on my YouTube channel, I do it myself. So I've invested a little bit of money into it. But considering people investing thousands of dollars on a business that have not yet been proven, that's a huge risk. So being an entrepreneur has its pros and cons. And it's always good to highlight the pros, the freedom to create something beautiful, to work for yourself and make your dreams come true. It could have a huge upside, becoming very profitable. Like I said, a lot of these businesses we see today, a lot of these companies started out as small businesses and they became something huge, magnificent, millionaires and billionaires. The upside is beautiful.
Show you something. That's how many people want to buy. Yes, I'm not kidding. What? People want them. People want them. You guys are amazing.
It can be a very high income producing venture for you. It can also provide you freedom to retire early or just to be the boss and not spend too much of your time working or having a strict schedule. Above all is living your purpose and having the satisfaction of knowing that you are doing something for yourself that you would rather not do anything else. Now the downside is, of course, potential financial instability. If I was relying on this YouTube channel to eat, I would not have eaten the past 2 years and probably more to come. Instability can be offset if you have, another income producing, more stable job on the side while you're working your passion. Now that's not always the most comfortable choice, but it's much better than living in financial instability. And something else nobody talks about is the long hours and stress. They always talk about, I work 5 hours a week. Most self-employed people are working way more than 5 hours a week. They're working sometimes 50, 60, 70, 80 hours a week on their business. The business comes home with you. So let's say you're selling a bunch of products, shipping packages from home, and 1 week you get 100 products. You're able to get all those packaged and sent off, let's say 10 hours. Then next week you get 1,000 orders. That's amazing. But you're gonna spend way more than those 10 hours that week packaging it and sending it off. Because of its up and downs, it may not be worth it to hire somebody to help you with that yet. Maybe you contract somebody for a few hours for just that week, but it's not something that you can do it consistently, because if it's not a proven fact yet and it's not profitable business yet, it's not profitable to hire somebody long term, because next week, let's say 0 orders. Now you still have to pay that person, but you don't have any products to ship. And of course, the stress and the stress that comes with the consistent pressure to succeed. Nobody talks about that, do they? today.
The problem with being your own boss is being your own employee. Yeah. Okay? Because you are a bad boss and you are a worse employee. Yeah. You tell yourself to do something and then you won't do it. And then you'll call your comedian friends in the evening and be like, I'm not doing anything. And by collective mediocrity, we are keeping the whole standard of comedy in the country down.
The pressure you put on yourself to succeed and to do more. I definitely feel it from this YouTube channel, to always try and make better videos, plan better, put in as much as possible. And after I finish working my regular job, I come home and I put in an unspecified amount of hours on this YouTube channel. It's not even something that I can say, oh, I'm done working on my YouTube channel for today. Like, if I have time, I'm working on it. It's not like, oh, I'm just an employee and I'm following my employer. It's like, what am I gonna get out of this video? Is it gonna be quality? What are people gonna do? How people are gonna react to it? And there are consequences that comes with that choice, that it doesn't as much when you're an employee, depending on, of course, your standing in the company. And so I wrote down this and I really want to read it to you, just to know that the life of an entrepreneur is demanded. It involves extensive planning, securing funding, managing operations, marketing, and consistent problem solving. It's a 24/7 job commitment. It can take years before you see any type of significant return. On average, it takes 3 to 5 years for a business to break even, and even longer to achieve success. So we see other people who have been able to make it, and that's what we'll call survival bias. We see the examples of the people whose businesses have blown up, but not the people who give up their jobs and they're regretting doing so. Just like a lot of people with MLMs, they'll tell you it is a commitment. You have to have the passion for it. If you're going into it just for money, you will more likely give up. Sometimes you're like on an up and up and up trajectory, and then it falls down. That risk is not for everybody. So moving on to, even when your business becomes successful, you probably need employees. Very few businesses are one-man type of successful business through and through. When you get employees, you need to be able to appreciate their labor and take care of them and make them feel fulfilled in working for you. I know that one type of employer I definitely want to, once I'm making money off of this channel, is getting an editor. Editing started out as like a good passion, but like when I have to edit all these videos, it can be so annoying and so tedious. I think I could put on way more content if I didn't have to edit these videos. I see why like we get editors and not have to do everything by yourself. But let's not also forget the benefits of having a 9-to-5.
I worked 7 different jobs in my 9-year data engineering career, and here's how much money I made. I started my career in 2014 as a data analyst, and I was making about $30,000 a year. Then I switched to a company, Teradata, in 2015, and I went up to $80,000 a year. Then in 2016, I actually did 2 hops, first to Research Innovations, where I made $95K, and then I switched again to Facebook, where I made $185K. And then after that, the next year I got promoted at Facebook, and I was making about $230K. And then the year after that, in 2018, I went to Netflix, and I was making about $360K. Then the year after that, I worked really hard at Netflix, and I made up to $550K, all cash. And then after that, I took a year off to travel the world and see things, to kind of reward myself for my hard work. And then I started my career back up again in 2021, where I got a job at Airbnb making about $575K. Airbnb stock didn't do too well, so the next year I was making about $450K. And then 2023, I worked really hard in 2022 and got a good performance review. I was going to be on track to making about $600K in 2023 until I quit my job to make content.
So the average salary of a full-time employee in the United States is about $50,000, which may not be the most amount of money, and it can be hard to live on depending on where you're living. When you break it state to state, you see that a lot of high income goes with a lot of high cost of living states. And so $50,000 in Kentucky can give you a pretty nice life versus $50,000 in New York City. But New York City will probably have something much higher. Say to Kentucky is, let's say, $40,000, and in New York City will probably be like $60,000, $70,000, and it all kind of averages out to about $50,000. But that is some level of stability. And let's not forget that some businesses, not all, offer some retirement benefits such as 401k matches. If you have your own business, you have to take care of on your own. They also offer health benefits, packages. If you have to pay your own entire monthly bill for your healthcare, sometimes it's thousands of dollars for a family. Paid time off is also really good. And then the clear demarcation between work and life. If you have one of those jobs where if you leave, it's over, it's over. I work from home sometimes. It's not a clear demarcation, but once I put in my 40 hours, I'm done. Now, of course, there are times where it requires me to work a lot more. That was for a period of time. When it was over, it was over. And while some jobs have more benefits than others, big benefit that most companies, I'll probably say every company does offer, is paying half of your social security tax. So I don't think a lot of people know this, but your actual social security tax is 12.4%. So when you see that you're paying 6.2%, and that is not including the other Medicare tax, I'm talking about actual social security tax, your employer is paying half of it. If you are self-employed, you have to remember that your taxes is going to look different because you're the employer, and the employee tax is going to come out of your check as 12.4%, and then your added Medicare tax. So you're looking at more so like 15% tax rather than the 7.5%. I'm not saying only be an employee. Look at the whole picture.
What do you do for a living to be able to afford this place out in Atlanta, Georgia?
I'm a serial entrepreneur.
How many businesses do you own right now?
Right now, I got 6 different businesses.
What was the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
15 million.
And have you ever been broke before?
1,000%. 24, I was homeless and broke.
Are you a buyer or a seller?
I'm a seller.
Why is that?
Listen, my mentors told me early on, more people got rich during the gold rush selling shovels than looking for gold.
What do you think is more important, mindset or skill set?
The mindset. Because with a bad mindset, you'll say, oh man, people are great at sales, I'm a sell. Yeah, but you're an introvert. Your mindset will allow you to not make bad decisions thinking that, oh yeah, if I just go learn how to work on cars, I could be a millionaire. And it's like, yo, bro, you got one arm.
For somebody broke right now, what is an actionable step that they can take to get really serious about becoming financially free like yourself?
It'll never come from money. You don't have a financial issue. It's a personal issue. You have traumas or things like that, because for you to get into a situation where you have no money, you're making bad decisions, you're making bad choices on a daily basis. You have bad habits that you need to correct. From that point, I start to realize, okay, what are the next steps that I need to take? You know, if you flat broke on rock bottom, I will pick up and learn how to sell, right? Once I get to a complacent point where I'm okay, because I don't want to be a toxic person, have negative traits on me, and then go try to sell and develop on top of you.
In concluding this video, whether you're working a 9 to 5, you have your own business, or you do both, there is a place in this world for all of us, and we're all valuable in what we add to our society. The reason why we're able to do any of these is because society needs and has a demand for such services. The key is to find out what works best for you and your lifestyle, and not compromising your lifestyle just so you can put CEO in your bio. Don't make society and social media make you feel inadequate for choosing stability and for choosing a successful career that brings you joy and fulfillment, but rather take pride in it and embrace it. I love to say I'm an engineer. It doesn't matter the fact that some people may think, oh, you can work on yourself, open your own engineering practice. No, the work that I'm doing now is giving me so much experience. A lot of times you first need to even go through these 9 to 5s to find out best practices, to find out about the business, to be an employee before you become an employer. These experiences are not wasted. You are learning so much. I'm learning so much. If I ever open my business, I would know more on how to run my business versus just going straight from not knowing to jumping in and just hoping it works. It could work in the rare cases, but oftentimes some of the most successful businesses are started later in life, not just at the beginning of life. Embrace your path and take pride in the service and the value you add to society, because we all appreciate. Some people don't notice it. If all construction workers quit tomorrow because everybody's trying to work for themselves, who's going to be building these things? Let's just take pride in everything that we're doing, as long as we're adding value to society, making the world a better place than we saw it. I know that I take pride in being an engineer. As a traditional career, it can also offer a path towards financial stability and financial success. As long as you know how to budget, you're living below your means, you can do that. You don't just need to be an entrepreneur to become financially successful. Engineering is the #1 career for people who are successful. And they have teachers on the list, accountants, and they had a whole list, and you can find that on Dave Ramsey's millionaire study. He studied 10,000 millionaires, most of whom were self-made. A lot of traditional careers can offer you that benefit of financial success and financial independence. And you may not feel like being an entrepreneur right now, but maybe a year or 2 or 10 from now, you change your mind because you find something that is lacking in the economy and you want to be the person to start that change. And you do. You don't have to do everything all at once. We all have different seasons in our life. And if this is your season to be an employee with the hope of 10 years from now being an employer, that's amazing. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And ring the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my videos. Share this video to anyone you know who will enjoy this type of content. And if you found this video insightful and you have more to add, be sure to leave it in the comment section. I'll be reading all of your comments. I read every single one of your comments. Stay healthy, stay well, take care, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.